Guess we're live. I've only done this a couple times. I'm trying to figure it out. We're down to the shop today, playing hooky. Anyways, I figured I'd 20K. Let you guys know what we're up to. We've been busy. Um, had a few questions rolling on the community board, so I figured I'd address those. We're going to start off, we'll start off right on the top with Ben. He wanted to know if the karaoke bars are open. So you got to remember, we are in Utah, and bars and karaoke in the southern part of the state is pretty rare, few and far between. Let's put it that way. So there you go, Ben. Little local bar slash live dance studio called the. Now you put me on the spot with a live. But anyways, we got a few spots you can go sing karaoke when you're in town. Okay, so we got another one that says, "Love is the answer," and I would probably agree with that. There's a lot of hate and discontent in the world, but love is the answer. Ask the question: do you get any calls for the cars on the switchbacks in Zion National Park? There must be some odd accidents in, on, or around the tunnel. So we definitely do get a lot of calls in Zion National Park. It is a very, very park in this part of the state. So we get a lot of goofy calls, different things that just make you shake your head, and people hanging out the window taking pictures. And anyways, pretty awesome. Going down to the page burner, he asked me, why am I not pushing my music career? You got the voice, any singing lessons would be an idea. I say this because my family's in the singing industry. Anyways, P.S. More off-roading with that Australian guy. That was funny. So I met a guy named Mad Matt 4-wheel drive here a while back, and he was just an awesome dude. We had a lot of fun out at the sand dunes. We kind of all have the same passions and different things, and so that's what he's referring to on the Mad Matt deal. And as far as the singing career, it's one of those things that if you make it a job, it's not any fun. But I really enjoy singing. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's given me a lot of opportunity in life, and I've met some amazing people. So we're going to keep that as a hobby. Just have some fun with it. If people want to pay me to come do a birthday party or a band gig, whatever the case, we usually accommodate that. But we like to do the community events, do a yearly concert in the park, and we also do a Christmas concert. So we're going to think about that. Walter B., I see your question there about merchandise. Yeah, we're going to. This hat is one of the newer ones that we're trying out to see if we like the design. So we will be pumping out some merchandise when we get going. Jeff Valentine asked a pretty good question about whether we have to have permits for any of the backcountry around Sand Hollow or the Hurricane Sand Dunes. And it is actually about 5 minutes from town. The entire mountain has good cell phone reception and good coverage that way. And so usually there's no backcountry permits or any of that kind of stuff required. But it seems like you're in the middle of nowhere when you're really 5 minutes from home. So you just have to take it easy. Jim Mitchell asked how I started my towing business. So that's kind of an interesting question. I've actually partnered with my wife's cousin, Winterton Towing, out of northern Utah. We've got 12 yards in Utah, and we run 12 trucks, so we're a pretty busy company. And it was a good opportunity to bring the Winterton name to southern Utah, kind of where they started back in the day, some of the relatives down here. So it's kind of fun to have a Winterton truck rolling around town. We also have a yard in St. George, so that's how we kind of got into the towing business. And then Jim also asked if my Jeep will pull the guts out of Matt's Jeep, which I've never tried, but we've been hooked together a few times. And I've never really had any problems keeping my engine cool in the Cherokee. So David Carroll, he's on here quite a bit. He asked what's my absolute favorite off-road vehicle, and we use the Cherokee for off-roading, but I also have a Samurai that's pretty well built, and we just go out and pound the heck out of that thing. We have a lot of fun in it. But we get out in the back country quite a bit. Let's see what else we got here. Guy wanting to know what's the best advice for someone wanting to venture into the back country. And he says, cheers. I would say that just be prepared. If you can, go with a friend. Make sure you have your equipment, air pumps, plug kits, a winch. Got to have some extra food and odds and ends that way. So that's kind of a fun one to have you guys get out there in the backcountry a little bit more and be prepared when you're there. Jason Bowman, he wants to know what the heck is the difference between my channel and Matt's channel. It's like having two Starbucks next to each other, and I can't decide which one to go in. So Jason, we started Matt's Off-Road Recovery YouTube channel together about a little over a year and a half ago. Let's see what else we got here. Do I ever have a dull moment from Austin Kimber? Austin must like my hat too. I seen that comment roll up. I really don't. I'm gonna say just when I first started the live, I left work yesterday and we went out to what they call Willis Creek and the Paria River on our mules and spent the whole day. Well, we spent the night Thursday night out and went on about a 15 or 18 mile mule ride on Friday. And we got home last night about 10 p.m. and I was up and out this morning bright and early. And I just got a call from Shed Crazy, who's also a YouTuber here locally. He's got 2 elk down on Penguich Lake, about a 2-hour drive. So as soon as we get done for the live with this live, we're going to go load the horses and mules back up and head to Penguich Lake to get a couple out for him. So that'll be a lot of fun. So Austin, I never had a dull moment. I get a lot of questions about what charge, how much does it cost. So normally what I do is an hourly rate, depending on what equipment I need. Most any local tow on the beach at Sand Hollow, I will do them between 100 and 165 bucks. It's no big secret. It costs money to have equipment available and ready to go. So we charge an hourly rate. And obviously we want to do a minimum as well. So no big secret what we charge. So most of you know that I run a shop, Casey's Auto Repair, and it's a very busy shop. There's just 2 of us here in the shop, and we keep quality control tight. And he's my right-hand man. He just works. He does his job. He's a great employee and a good friend. And so as far as the making money in the off-road business, to kind of juggle it with everything else. When did I get started from Twilight Han, and what are some of my scariest stories or challenges? So back in the early days of recovery for me, we didn't know anything about chains and ropes and rigging stuff, and I had to work for a company doing recovery on the freeway, and I also worked for a gentleman named Joe MacArthur who taught me a little bit about rigging with heavy equipment, with cranes. The dog real quick, saying hi. Anyways, he did a lot of rigging with cranes and different things and kind of taught me how to respect power, inertia, and different things that were related to that, as well as the guys from Roosh. So early on, just out of high school, I learned a lot about the dangers of cables and riggings. So it's paid me back well. timer here in Hurricane that taught me about kinetic ropes. And so about 5 years ago, he was teaching me how to braid ropes together and make the loop. And after we figured out how to make ropes that were safe and that had a little bit of stretch in them over a strap or a chain, the rest is history. We just started braiding ropes and using a braided kind of a cotton rope initially, but then the manufacturers have come out and really stepped their game up with kinetic recovery ropes. Kind of the initial, when you're wheeling, doing a lot of off-roading and different things, you have to be prepared to get your buddy out or to get yourself out. And so just over the last 20 years of doing a lot of off-road recovery, a lot of off-road wheeling, rock climbing, that kind of stuff, we just kind of learned to, we made a lot of mistakes, I'm not going to lie. I remember one time down in the river, early on, before I was married, Lloyd Levitt and some guys were down there. I think Pete Levitt was stuck in an old shotgun, and tried to get him out with my Samurai, and we were using the chain, and it ripped the piece of the chassis off and broke his grill and headlight in the corner of his passenger side windshield and broke the passenger side mirror off his truck. And that was the last time I ever used a chain in any type of recovery. So it didn't take long to learn. So just got to be careful out there, and obviously in life you learn from experiences. So that was a good lesson for me, and so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, Twilight Han, that's probably one of my scariest moments on recovery, is when we broke a chain. So it's wild. That I got like 5 or 6 pages of questions, so we'll try to go through them. This guy, Buckhorn Cortez, he said, I'm thinking of driving my F-350 dually 4x4 up to the Hurricane to get stuck. Any suggestion? And my suggestion is yes. Go to Sand Hollow State Park, drive down on the beach in the peanut butter mud, and I'll come out there on the Nodwell and pull you out. It'll be a good time, and then you can buy my lunch. That's the deal right there. Let's see. Why is my face out in Matt's videos? So a while back we had some privacy concerns that we didn't really like, and so we addressed it with Matt, and he did ours to kind of give us a little bit of time to address those issues. And so that was really good of him to work through that. And now we're hoping to go through a bunch of the videos and get them republished if that's what Matt wants to do, and hopefully get early footage when we started the Matt's Off-Road channel back up for all you guys. And so I'll just tie that question into me and Matt. So me and Matt are okay on terms. We just are kind of going different directions in life. He's running his YouTube, and it's full-time and then some job. He's got a huge staff. So he's super busy, but I have a commitment to my shop and my towing business. And so at this point, I'm not ready to reins over to either one of them. And so I'm going to keep kind of doing what I'm doing on my YouTube. I'm going to keep it low-key. In the occasion that Matt calls me and needs help, I'm going to try to accommodate that. But yeah, as far as terms, me and Matt are on terms, and okay that way. We're just kind of doing our own thing with the YouTube, and that's those things. So you guys just in content. Don't worry about me and Matt on this end. We'll get it all figured out, and hopefully we'll be able to address some of those so that you guys don't have to worry about it all. I got lots of thank yous on the 20K, so I couldn't have done any without you guys. You guys have been a huge support. I get tons of messages. Frank asked if I ever thought about using UHF radios or VHF radios. I actually do use radios quite a bit. I'm a ham radio operator. After my dad and most of my brothers. So we did have a lot. We do use VHF radios quite a bit. Just, not all the time, but we do have VHF radios and we use them extensively. Ken Weberg asked about Grandpa's plate. There, yep. we just went down and cleaned it up in that one video, and we was able to liquidate quite a few of the cars and different things, and so it's still there in the desert. All right, we got a couple more here, then I'll just open it up to a few of you guys. 73, Terry, thanks. Let's see. Okay, and Heath want what the upkeep is on the Nodwell. The Nodwell is pretty awesome machine, and it had been quite a while, and so I had to put some tires on it. I went through and did new sprockets. In actuality, the way the Nodwell sits and the way I'm using it, I should be able to get 15 or 20 worth of use without a ton of maintenance. And so I'm hoping that we won't have issues with the Nodwell. It's a pretty basic machine, but it's built tough. Probably tough Ford, you Ford lovers out there. Rock RC wants to know, did you guys all share the recoveries down there? And so living in a small community with such a vast area surrounding us, most of the towing companies work pretty well together. Just right before I went live, I got a phone from dispatch. They needed some assistance with a semi on the freeway, but I'm just running the rollback right now, and so I wasn't set up to do, winch back. I truck back up with my rollback, so I referred over to Winterton so he can take his medium duty wrecker out and winch up. So we do share quite a few of the recoveries, but they also set it up on a rotation through dispatch, and they're able to, just kind of have a level playing field and kind of share the wealth, or whatever you want to say that way. I got a couple more here, and then I've got to go show you something. You guys are going to be blown away when you see it. Oh, what tools and equipment do you never leave home without? So I kind of mentioned it earlier. I like to have food and water, but I also want to have tools, plug. I want to have a compressor. I want to have a couple different length recovery ropes, a few tree straps, stuff that just stays in the Jeep all the time. And another thing that all of those is a winch. They are so invaluable when you need them, but you also have to respect them or they'll get you killed. So I definitely say that just equip your Jeep and your off-road rig the way you need it, and just go use the heck out of it. Just enjoy yourself. All right, so I have a live feed on the left-hand side where you guys are asking questions, and I need your help because I'm going to open it up to just a couple questions. People didn't put it on the dashboard, and I'll just go ahead and answer them right now. So shoot me a couple out. Let's try to... Hey, Poppy. That's my new pup right there. She's kind of lazy. Yeah, in Utah, by a little town called Logan, actually in the Logan. So I was a native to Utah, yeah. Okay, check this out. I hope it'll stay live. It's kind of crazy today. One of my next videos coming up, you guys are going to see this bad boy right here in it. Can you see it? You see that big boy? Oh, baby. So yeah, this is a 5-ton. It's a 1970 M813. I'm hoping to show you guys that in my next couple videos. I've been goofing off too much, so I'm about 3 or 4 videos behind. I'll show you the details on that one when we get that ready to go. So it's kind of cool through, and so we're super excited about it. I've got a couple tires. The front right one's got weather checks in it and a few things, and so definitely excited about putting that into the fleet. I don't know what it is about big trucks, goofy machines like the Nodwell. All those types of things just turned my crank. So I drove it home from Springdale the other day, about a 25-mile drive, and it drove like a car. It just put it there and away you go. So, what questions do you guys have? How do you guys like that sign? Flag. I think I got a ram behind me. An old Rooster Cogburn. Everybody knows who that is. Got another flag up on the wall there. Ooh, look, Lincoln brought me. Lincoln's down here with me. He's riding his go-kart up and down the road trying to get arrested. All right, well, I got time for maybe one or two more questions. Who makes the motor in the 5-ton? So the motor 5-ton is actually a upgraded motor. It was manufactured in 1983, and I believe it's an 855 Cummins, 250 horse, and all the electrical's been gone through. It's pretty sweet. It was actually military surplus that got put into Peterson's equipment fleet, and then they did all the upgrades about 83 at the spring department. Okay, Nels asked me about my wildest recovery I've ever done. Then Tom asked my singing, and I'll try to slip some of that singing stuff in there and see what else we can do with that. And then there's always wild recoveries. Seems like every time you go out, you get you're never going to run in. Jay Carey wanted to know if I ever got unnerved going out in the woods. I'm not very superstitious, but I did search and rescue for a lot of years in Washington County. We did anything from vehicle recoveries to body recoveries and things like that. So it seems like no matter where I go in the county, doesn't matter when it is, when I drive by those areas where we did big recoveries or stuff, it always crosses my mind of what happened, and I can kind of picture it in my mind just like daylight. So it's pretty funny that your memory will remind you of those places you've been. Mark wants mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Walter, the 5-ton is a 6-wheel drive. It's all wheel. It doesn't have hubs or anything. Lee said that there's been that John Wayne contracted cancer in the desert over here. And if you guys watch Octopussy and some of the old John Wayne movies where the plane flies underneath the bridge, that is like 1 block from my shop. So if you watch the beginning of Octopussy, I think this is the one where under the bridge that was right here in Hurricane. And then they did all of the John Wayne movie sets up along Red Cliffs on the west side of Interstate 15, or coming right through town here. So you guys, thanks for being saying hello. I really appreciate all the support. So we're going to hopefully let this video render. Sometimes these live feeds are not as good as you'd like them, but we'll make sure it renders okay. And again, it's been fun. We're going to keep on doing what we're doing. Get out there on the road again. We'll catch you on the next one.